Auschwitz. Inside the machinery of a crime against humanity, today's story is not fiction. It is one of the darkest chapters in human history on enormous crime carried out in plain sight, hidden behind barbed wire, guard towers, and administrative paperwork. This is the story of Auschwitz, the largest and deadliest Nazi concentration and extermination camp. A place where more than 1.1 million people were murdered. A place built, expanded, and operated with chilling organization and purpose. Chapter 1. A camp that began with a simple order. Auschwitz didn't begin as a death camp. In April 1940, Heinrich Himmler ordered the establishment of a new concentration camp in occupied Poland. The Nazis chose a former Polish military barracks near the town of Auschwitz named Auschwitz. At first, the prisoners were Polish political detainees, activists, teachers, resistance members. They were forced to build the camp themselves, but Auschwitz was not yet what the world would later know it to be. That transformation was coming. Chapter 2. The expansion into a killing center. By 1941, after the invasion of the Soviet Union, Auschwitz began receiving Soviet prisoners of war. Most were executed or worked to death. The Nazi leadership wanted more. They wanted a camp that could handle an entire continent's worth of prisoners. So they built a second camp, Auschwitz II-Birkenau, a massive complex of wooden barracks, electrified fences, and long rows of chimneys. This camp included something new: purpose-built gas chambers and crematoria. From this moment on, Auschwitz was no longer a labor camp, it had become an industrial killing center. Chapter 3. The final solution, and the trains that never stopped. In 1942, the Nazi regime launched the final solution, the plan to systematically exterminate Europe's Jewish population. Auschwitz became its main hub. Cattle cars packed with families arrived daily from Hungary, France, the Netherlands, Greece, Belgium, Italy, Czechoslovakia, the Soviet Union. Men, women, and children stepped out onto the infamous unloading ramp. There, doctors performed a selection lasting only seconds. Forced labor or immediate death, most were sent straight to the gas chambers. Chapter 4. Inside the system. Auschwitz had a chilling organization. 1. Registration and stripping of identity. Prisoners were tattooed with numbers. Names were erased. 2. Forced labor. Those selected to live were sent to work in quarries, in construction at the nearby IG Farben synthetic rubber factory, and coal mines. In agricultural camps, life expectancy for laborers could be measured in weeks. 3. Medical experiments. Some prisoners were taken to Block 10 and subjected to experiments. Most notorious was Dr. Joseph Mengele, who performed genetic and surgical procedures specially on twins. 4. The camp within the camp, Auschwitz, was not one place, but a complex of over 40 each with its own rules, punishments, and routines. All of it operated with bureaucratic precision logistics, schedules, and records documenting the destruction of human lives. Chapter 5. Resistance, escape attempts, and witnesses. Not everyone submitted. There were acts of resistance. The Sonderkommando Revolt, October 1944. Prisoners forced to work in the crematoria blew up one of the crematorium buildings using gunpowder smuggled by women working in a factory. A small number managed to escape, including Witold Pilecki, a Polish officer who volunteered to be imprisoned in order to report on the atrocities. His reports reached the Allies in 1941. Some prisoners buried notes, diaries, and testimonies in the soil. Many were discovered after the war, providing first-hand accounts of life inside the camp. Chapter 6. The final months and liberation. By late 1944, the Nazis were losing the war. Realizing that Auschwitz's existence would soon be exposed, they attempted to destroy evidence, blowing up crematoria, burning documents, and forcing prisoners on death marches in the freezing winter. On the 27th of January 1945, Soviet troops reached Auschwitz. What they found was incomprehensible. 7,000 surviving prisoners, starving in ill piles of shoes, glasses, and suitcases. Warehouses filled with human hair, empty gas chambers with destroyed machinery. The world finally saw what had been hidden behind the fences. Chapter 7: Aftermath and Historical Legacy. Auschwitz became the symbol of the Holocaust, representing industrialized, state-sponsored murder. Trials followed. SS, guards, commanders, and doctors were prosecuted, though many escaped justice. Today, Auschwitz is a memorial and a museum. Millions visit each year to remember the victims and to confront the reality of what happened when hatred, propaganda, and absolute power combine. Auschwitz is not just a place on a map. It is a warning, a story of how ordinary systems strained schedules, paperwork, factories, and medical institutions were used to commit extraordinary crimes. The mystery is not how it happened. The real mystery is how it was allowed to happen at all, and that is why this story must be told.